in order to give this some sort of format this week, we've decided to talk about all things fishing and then just include all the topics that we want to talk about during what would normally be a live. We're going to do a recorded version this week and maybe do a live from then on, Steve. We'll see how we go, mightn't we? But
something different.
Something different. So joining us tonight, we've got Ben Townsend, Matrix and Spotted Fin Angler.
Evening, everyone.
Obviously the main man, Mr. Dorks, and then and then myself and Simon, Mike and Simon, who are volunteer here at the Fishery Association, and I normally sat behind the camera. You might probably heard our voices on some of the lives. So, but we're going to try and keep it in some sort of order tonight. So we'll kick it off then, Steve, with the main thing on the list there, which is somebody made the top 50 most influential people in angling right now. Steve Dorks made the number 48 on the Angling Times 50 most influential anglers.
Yeah.
And we thought that was an interesting list, didn't we?
Listen, at the end of the day, whatever, people can have all sorts of opinions on that, but I'm actually quite proud of that. Yeah, so there you go.
Yeah, definitely.
It's better to be talked about in some extent.
I'm quite proud of that, and it's certainly, the way I'm seeing it, is something tangible to aim for, and I think either way, it's a good list to have.
It was a good list, wasn't it?
People being influential, that sort of thing. I just think it's a good list to have anyway. And the only other thing I would say on it, that and I don't normally criticise these sort of lists because it's always people's opinions. Dave Lyons at number 14 is a travesty of justice. He is the most influential man in fishing, has been the last 2 years as an individual. So he and what he is doing makes it all possible for all of us trying to actually do something good, because he's given us that security that we're going to be able to carry on fishing, because making it popular and and therapeutic, all of those things. I happen to think that tackling mines,
Dave Lyons of tackling mines,
he's having one of those bit like having a massive effect that we're not ever going to probably appreciate. But while it's popular, while it's being prescribed by doctors, things like that, it's hardly going to be made illegal, is it?
No.
And let's face it,
No,
so
I've never met the bloke personally, but I see a lot of it online from himself or people that have been involved with him. And
I met him right at the beginning.
Fair play to him, like you say, it's helping a lot of people out with. If fishing can help you out in a bad place, all the better for it. So,
mate, you'd be in a bad place if it weren't for fishing. I think if most people,
I think that go further than that. I've been in a bad place.
Exactly.
And I can honestly say that I've been in a couple of bad places in fishing.
Anybody who knows me knows that if I'm involved with fishing in any way, shape or form, I'm alright. If I'm not, I'm probably anyway. Let's not talk about that.
What about the rest of the list then, Steve? What do you think of the rest of it? Agree with the big names at the top?
I think Dave should have been number 1 and I should have been number 2. No,
just for modesty alone.
No,
I'm surprised that
of course I don't.
Dead Ship isn't on it.
Yeah, we.
I didn't know he wasn't.
No, we were having a little.
Obviously studied it,
No, we were having a little chat before we've come on, and Des was the one that stood out for not being on.
I think the author has pretty much said and admitted it's a list, isn't it? You know what I mean? You could probably write it out again. It'd be a totally different 50 people in reality, and it's going to be an emotive subject, as people are going to be sat there going, "Don't know why he's on it," and there's going to be people saying, "It's just what you're seeing."
But I suppose really you've got to remember the list is encompassing of all aspects of fishing.
Yeah, we're
only interested in proper fishing.
Like the top 5 on there. There's Matt Godfrey's on there, who is guru, obviously one of the very top anglers as well in our scene. But he does so much.
Specie boys there's on the top there as well.
There's a lot. But the Specie boys, a lot.
He's well liked as well, isn't he?
Very well liked. Nice, lovely bloke. But then you've got. They're on TV, some of them, with Monster Carp and Ali's stuff.
No, hang on.
Alan Blair's number 5.
He's not well liked. He's well likeable.
Well likeable, yes.
Rather than well liked.
So you got the 2 TV ones. Number 1 is in charge. The TV shows wouldn't have happened without him.
Alan Blair of Nash, obviously, but then they've got a huge YouTube following.
I watch more Alan Blair videos than I do any other fishing video, in all honesty. I love sitting and watching this because there's a big story to it. It's not just about fishing, it's just about being out in the wild. I love his videos.
Yeah.
I work with
It
carp
sounds like the
anglers,
Bear Grylls
and-
of the angling world. a
Well,
bit.
he's got just this way about him that he's so passionate and so excited about.
And pulls you in.
And pulls
I didn't
you in.
realise we'd got
I-
a super fan
I
on
work,
board.
no, I work with 3 of the lads I work with, and we play tarmac for a living. We spend a lot of time sat in vans waiting around, and they're carp anglers. And I've watched loads of their
Fully
videos,
clothed.
and I go, yeah, fully clothed in IVs. I'd like to add nothing like that, Steve.
Well, and these guys are actually watching it over your shoulder, whether they're involved.
Well, I watch it with them, and now I go out my way and watch his videos. It's just
Who's this, Alan?
Alan Blair.
Blair.
But a lot of them are the same. There's several of the top. It doesn't matter what sort of fishing they do.
They're put together quite well, their videos, aren't
Yeah, it's just nice. It's nice to watch people passionate about it.
Yeah.
I could watch sea fishing or anything as long as they're enjoying it.
One a name that I was pleased to see up there was Carl Smith. Does anybody watch?
Oh, yeah.
Carl-
No, we have got a
Fish with Carl.
super
Seen
fan
it-
on
seen
board.
a few of
Fan
them.
now. Yeah.
Seen
yeah.
a few of them.
Well, just to put Carl Smith in some kind of context, I was looking at how many subscribers a lot of these people have on YouTube.
You're stalking him, aren't you?
I am stalking the guy. Yeah. He's so.
And you're
Tom's-
saying about me in a van with someone.
Just to give you some sort of context, so Tom Sciley obviously does really, really well with Catch More Media. He has nearly 90,000 subscribers on the YouTube channel.
I'd imagine he's well up there influence-wise. Just
Tom made number 32 on the list, didn't he? So
He does a huge amount for match fishing that you don't realise. There's so
In the
many
background,
events
yeah.
put on and stuff because of him. So.
yeah, Andy May and Jamie Hughes, who are obviously the guys at the moment with the Winning Ways.
Rich Chapman not.
Rich Chapman not on there, but obviously part of the Winning Ways team, and they've got on YouTube close to 50,000 subscribers. Guru 60,000, Preston 70,000, but Fish with Carl 500,000
You are a
subscribers.
stalker, aren't you?
I'm a stalker. I enjoy his videos. In all fairness, I just think they're easy, good, great, easy.
Yeah. Listen, hey, 500,000. Listen, it'd certainly be a good bloke to get on board with for the F30 and stuff, because that is a wider audience, isn't it? That's the one that that's the sort of audience. No, the 50s and the 60,000s are within the sport, aren't they? They're people,
Yeah.
you know, but 500,000 is taking it to another
Well, that
level.
just goes to show you also the difference between fishing and match fishing.
Yes,
as a generic rather than.
And as a target area, we need to be looking at even beyond that, don't we? And you know,
Well, we've reached out to Carl a couple of times, but maybe get him in on a video or some sort of crossover between actual angling and specimen angling, as opposed to match fishing, I suppose.
keep turning up at his house, hiding in the hedge.
I don't know where he lives.
Yet.
Anyway, let's talk about Fishing Association. Then this year, the final is going to be at Janson's Fishery. Let's talk a little bit about that. It's going to be spread across Match, Poole and Munros. That's right, isn't it?
Yeah.
We was just looking at lake records for both lakes, £489, £404. Looking across some of their results throughout the summer, they're doing regular £300, £400 weights.
They're 5-hour matches, not 6. Yeah, I presume 5 hour.
I've never actually fished a match there, but I see lots of people that do, and the result, it's frightening, the fishing. I've spoken to loads of people about it, and it should be amazing by the sound of it.
We got in contact with Aidan Mansfield, another Matrix guy, isn't he?
Yeah, Aiden's one of the people I've spoken to about it, because I've booked one of the qualifiers there. So
He
I've been trying to
fancies
get
it, doesn't
He'll definitely fancy it there.
Well, he obviously fishes there, and his quote was, I think it will make for one of the best finals ever.
Colin Spencer's booking another holiday as we speak over it, hasn't he?
He's, the rest of his quote, there's that many fish to go at in every single peg. He goes, you know what it's like when you make the final of one of these major competitions, your hand goes in the bag, you pull out a ball and it's a duff peg and you think that's it. He goes, but you know at Janson's, before you've even put your hand in the bag, there's a chance of you winning. He says, literally, it could be one off any peg. So we're looking forward to getting up there and doing a bit of filming this year, Steve, because you have, well, not...
We'll see if you get you fitted up with a ton, can't we?
Yeah.
I did an open match over there with Aidan a while back. We got in touch and he said he fancied coming over to Janson's. So we went across and we did the match at Janson's. I couldn't believe the amount of fish that were caught.
Yeah.
It was staggering.
I know,
I was
speaking...
way off the pace, which I expected because I've never been there before.
So did we.
To get, yeah. Sorry.
Well,
That's true.
Looking back at last year, we've got to a point in the year, and there was a lot in the social media about Todd Manor, wasn't there? And the first £1,000 match weight.
Yeah, got a lot of stick, but I'm gonna put my oar in on this one. I saw you there, Steve. I went down there for a fish show. It's the first time I'd ever been.
I think you went to the same one, didn't you, Steve?
Yeah, Steve was there. I saw Steve there. I drew a good peg.
Tip back, didn't you, Steve?
Isn't that the one where Jim kicked Des Ship's backside all over?
Apparently so, mate. Yeah.
Off of Ass.
I drew the right leg,
off of an inferior
and I said
peg.
before I went, I won't be up to speed with it because I just couldn't imagine. I love catching 200 or 300 pound, and I'm as quick as anyone, but that is just a whole different ball game.
Yeah.
And like I was fourth, I think. It's one of them I look back and I could have won. Just fishing, like you'd think you'd need to get in the shallowest water in the edge so you don't get liners. It's not. It's about feeding next to nothing, like in deeper water and keeping it all controlled, and wasted an hour doing that and putting nets in. But getting back to the fishery, like it's the cleanest fishery you'll ever go to, and the fish are the healthiest fish you will ever see. They never look like they've ever been caught.
No, well,
people are moaning they're all in these nets and.
No,
some of the staff are a bit dubious, aren't they?
Well, you can say that about fishing association.
Well, yeah, that guy Manton is definitely, I'll tell you.
Well, we were fortunate enough to go down there after it had pretty much been in the media about all these big weights, and it was after the £1,000 match winning weight, I think, that we went down there and we filmed Ant Flint and Pem Wrighting on their head-to-head.
That was a good day out, that wasn't it?
And that was phenomenal. That was a great day for us to sit and watch.
Pem was next to me on that fish show, and let's say he knew he got everything so right from that first minute. It was brilliant to watch.
I know.
Yeah, they have, and everyone's saying,
"Oh, it's a good night out with Ant as well the night before."
But when you watch the weigh-in, and Ant, like, he had about £35 in each net, and just as you've said, the venue is clean. The lakes are clean, there's not a smell of a rotten fish anywhere. Right. You walk around at the weigh-in and people have literally got £30-40 in each net, and you think there's not many venues you go to where there is just £30-40
that net thing, they've got it. Like I wasted time on I filled 5 nets, or 6 I've got. And I've got my nets and I spent 10 minutes putting them in. They've got separate keep net bar and they literally lift it off, walk down, put it in, and they get it ready to go in 2 minutes. I think I've just lost £50 in that 20 minutes. It's that quick. Yeah, and you've gone.
Rack of nets.
It is. They are so. Everything is done. The thing is, there's a skill to it. I know it's a different skill, but there is a real skill to it.
The thing is with Todd Bamana though is, having spoken with Guy and John and all this, that and the other, I suspected the place is not necessarily any more stocked than a lot of places because of the catchment area, because of the numbers fishing the matches, because of the feed they're needing to do it. That is the issue. They haven't got enough people coming to fish for the fish.
That's what he said, didn't he?
Yeah,
he said during the week nobody fishes it. You get to the weekend and they have a match, and the fish are just.
If it had the same amount of matches on as Partridge has on it, for instance, and all that, it wouldn't be like that.
Yeah, that's why the fish.
It's the same in Kingsland, mate. You can't get caught in the winter because they don't get fed enough.
We were talking like we're going to do a little thing about tactics for like this kind of year later on, aren't we? And you were saying to me about you're one of the first to get on the meat. I'm going to be fishing meat at Kingsland this week because it's exactly the same. They are that little lake there. You'll be fishing for £250. They just don't get fished for enough, and they are starving now. That's right. Yeah. But anyway,
the other weekend after we fished it the day after, they'd had a bit, and then it went wallop, did it? But I think everywhere did. But in general, they don't get fished for, and they're
starving.
So what sort of numbers do they get on the opens down at
Todd? But they don't have opens because no one wants to. They've got the ones that are really good at it, and then no one else can go and compete with them.
So it's a vicious circle.
So they've got like 10.
So I think it's got a low catchment area because it's a bit niche, a bit specialised as well, and you need 1,700 keep nets, like.
So they have 10 to 20, I think, but that's like if they do it once a month and then everyone goes and makes a trip down there. But it's not regular like we have anywhere else.
So what it is, it needs but there's things of potential planning with the F30, the speed fishing. Todd lends itself to a bit of speed fishing. I mean, I've already spoke with Dominic Garnett at the Angling Time, and we're looking to put together an event down there, a speed fishing. That's coming to that, but Todd lends itself to that. and John and Guy have been most helpful. We've got a couple of qualifiers there this year.
Yeah, we'll come to them shortly.
And I shall help them to put as many matches on as possible.
Just to rein it back though to where we was going with that, then I think we quashed the whole, like you were saying about the health of the fish. That's all kind of been quashed and forgotten about now, and that, these big weights.
That's one. Before you get off that, when people, just one more thing, like I saw on social media and stuff, when that £1,000 catch was done, people saying, "I can't believe you put that many fish in a keep net." They're not. It's a £50 limit, and like people
it's no
said,
different, is
I
it?
think they're like where we would, if we're fishing for £100 or £200, you try and you've got 4 or 5 nets in, you're trying to fill them right up because they've got so many nets ready. There's less fish, and what people weren't getting that don't match fish, and we're just seeing it like on Angling Times put a post about it and stuff.
It's anglers that complain about it.
They're saying, how are you having? There's no more amount of fish than if you caught £50 to £1,000 in each net because there's a limit.
But we're
seem
pandering to an angler's
confused with it.
complaint, aren't we? It's anglers that complain about fish and numbers and speed and hooker duck and that, not antis. You wouldn't hear an anti calling it hooker duck. They don't want you catching anything full stop. No. Not fast, slow or anything. It's an angler's thing.
30, 40 pound a net. The fish are probably as sparse in the net as they are in the lake anyway. And when you get a ball of fish coming in on a pile of pellets, there's probably 30, 40 pound there anyway. So,
or 800 bleak.
Or 800 bleak, yeah. Well, in your case, after you ball it in.
You can't put it in numbers, can you? I say it's anglers create this to justify, we're our own worst enemy. We really are in that respect.
The fish are in good health. Ben's just said the fish are in good health. So.
And they're big. They're not. It doesn't take many fish for them. Not even, like the bloke like I was on this peg in this fish show. There was Pem, and then there was a bloke the other side of Pem. And bear in mind, we're all fishing. You fish short kits, and it's pulling. The bloke the other side of Pem was like, "This one's massive." I was like, "He's like, this is £25." I'd never been there, but I was like, it can't be, mate. And I've watched him weigh in, it was £26. There's some huge fish in there.
Really?
Right.
It's not all like pulling these 3-pounders in. They're all sizes.
I can't wait to have another go.
So he's only got 2 or 3 fish in something. They're big fish.
45, 50 pound.
And we had a nice meal the night before in that pub, didn't we? So,
Anyway, let's move on.
Let's draw it back to Janson's.
Here,
let's draw it back to Janson's. We're looking forward to making the final up there and the F30 along the road as well. Let's talk just a little bit about the F30, Steve. The concept and the idea behind the F30 obviously being that it's going to be affordable, entry level, and it should appeal to everybody, shouldn't it?
Yeah, well, listen, everybody, youngsters, their attention span allegedly is not as good as ours used to be, and all this, that, and the other, and they need instant gratification, all stuff like that. And I can sort of see that. And F30 is just, our or my variation on T20 cricket, something that can be broken down. You don't have to give as much of your. Even the thought of if you actually think about fishing, when I was brought up on fishing, it meant going with your dad, which of course you did, or your uncle, or whatever, because you did that. That's what you did, and you hadn't got much choice. Like Bob said the other week, it was fishing, football, or cricket. But now they've got a choice, these kids, so it's got to be exciting. And one thing I've found out, and taking my grandkids there last year, they were absorbed for the whole of the day, you know what I mean? Because we were putting pound fish on the hook, bang, exciting, caught, float under. You soon find out whether you're going to enjoy it or not. It can be done in smaller increments. We can have 2-hour matches. I can see the future of it, be almost like a bowling alley style event, drop-in event, all of that. But that's for the future. Right now, we need to be expanding the numbers in the sport, and we need to have a massive catchment area, and it's my aim next year to get as many new people, not people that are going to be doing it anyway, new people with a top kit in the hand catching a few carp. And then it's up to them. If they like it, they'll like it. But we're going to make it accessible, affordable, doable, all through Jank and all that, and we're going to turn it into a corporate style event as well. And I honestly believe that it'll catch, but it'll get them hooked. That's the bottom line.
Is this just juniors, or is this all ages?
No. Sean came. We're going to make it a corporate event, so there'll be a factory day out. There'll be a team of 20 of you come along, and there'll be. You might be at the factory or whatever, or one of the tarmackers, and you know what you're doing, but it won't take long to teach somebody how to put a banded pellet on a hook, will it? And teach them. You know, teach them in the morning, competition, round robin, like Si knows what we did last year, and see if. And we just need people to be taken by it.
If you have 20 there and one enjoys it, you do that several times. You're soon building up.
And it'll be more than one. I know.
And then they'll go and say they'll go, and then someone will want to go with them, and it'll spread out.
It's doable.
Cool, I fancy a go at that. Yeah, that looks alright.
And it's not just youngsters, it's getting old people haven't done it for a while, making it so they don't have to go out and buy kit. There's so many things to come off this, and I'm really excited about it, because the bottom line is, unless we expand the numbers in our sport, we're on a hiding to nothing. And like I keep saying, in 20 years' time, most of us will be dead. Probably not you lot, but you'll be at the back end of it.
Yeah.
The numbers are not coming in. We need to appeal to a wider audience. We need to do something radical, and I believe F30 is the key. I'd say I'm making it my mission next year. I want to get 350 people at least to fish that wouldn't have fished before, and fish a match as much as anything. I'm fairly confident fishing will be safe over the next, after 20 years, but it'll disappear more over to specimen hunting and stuff like that. But out and out match fishing will disappear unless we make it more appealing, and we make it, and I believe F30 will do that. It'll bring people in at entry level, and then hopefully they'll go on, and they're there, and we can dump, and then one of those will be fishing for England. That's just, if in 10 years' time, or 5 years' time even, one of them's a natural. It's getting that bigger audience, that bigger bucket of people to choose from. Anyway, everybody knows I'm passionate about that, and I'm going to have all year to rattle on about it.
Well, one thing that obviously in the media just recently is the young lad that's throwing darts, 16 years old.
Luke, he's amazing.
Yes.
He's just won, hasn't he? Just won his
He won Bahrain Masters,
Which does go to show what can be done if the right...
If you're in the final, wasn't it?
And the one thing I did say to Steve recently was, in my heart, I do not believe there are more people that would watch darts than there are that would watch fishing.
I
do not believe in my heart that
if we can
the
present
audience for fishing is as big.
If we can present fishing like we know we did last year, with Nicole, with Logan, with Peb, with Anne, all the head-to-head, Alex, all the exciting head. If we can do that, and like I say, we know we can. We know it appeals to a wider audience than the one that it's got. We know it appeals to wives.
The comments,
Sean, you know what I mean? Film it, his wife and my wife. People that have watched stuff that they've got no interest in fishing, but if it's done at its basic level, we count it, so the people watching it know what's going on, because that's half the problem, isn't it? I mean, it's so convoluted, fishing is, and it takes you... Well, it's taken me a lifetime to work out how to explain it to people.
It gets back to what I was saying about watching these carp videos and stuff. It doesn't interest me, the carp fishing, but it's how it's done, and it drags you in. And
they tell a story more with
a story
rather than that. But with the darts, like I think you said to me, Steve, it wasn't popular until you had the split screen where you could see them throwing and hitting the board, and they had the scores put underneath them.
Chap I speak to called Peter May, who writes numerous books. He's got books. He told me you need to get away to get it split screen. You need to have it scored. And darts wasn't until people could see what was going on. And that's all you need. You need a scoreboard. You need a scoreboard. The only downside to it is you need a couple of people to score. So you need volunteers, and we'll be getting. But there'll be no shortage.
Well, the last thing just to say on the F30, which I thought was a great point that Sean actually brought up when we were filming last year, is the kit involved. I mean, how many thousands of pounds worth of kit have we got to go match fishing? The reality is, with F30, you would need a couple hundred quid.
I don't buy fishing.
Couple hundred quid, and you're fully kitted out.
And
what made that? And you still think, all right, a couple hundred quid, that's still a lot of money. But when Sean put it in this context, you probably get all that for cheaper than an Xbox.
Yes.
And parents are rushing out to buy these Xboxes.
A lot cheaper.
Yes.
I was working away a lot before, like in last autumn time, and I bought a computer, and it's the first one I've had for about 25 years, and they are a basic computer is 350 quid, and that's a handheld thing I got for in my hotel room. Yeah, it's not cheap at all.
No, but a top kit and a seat box and a side tray and a top, you're not looking at 250 quid.
No.
You could, if it was all popular, you could see a tackle. If it does really kick off how you're doing, you could see
I'll be
tackle
pricing this
companies selling a pack, an F30 pack.
A starter kit.
It wouldn't have to be a starter kit. You could get it'd be decent quality.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I want a box, a modular stock, which is what they are, a box. I want a top kit that's modular because I want to be able to stick a pole behind it, like for the magnet fish. It wants to be something that they can start with, and for, say, 150, I say a decent box with a side tray and a couple of top kits and a food. It's minimal, isn't it? But I want it to be actually modular, so that I say, if you want a pole, that top kit then goes
onto a bed. Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's where you get them, the technique. You're giving that away for nothing as a lost leader almost. See, I'm even showing you how to do it. But we need to get them started.
The trouble is with the technical gear that you get these days, the kids, like your phones and various things, it's lazy child minding. It's easy for the parents to say, there you go, play on that, and away you go. It's more hassle for them to take the kids out, buy the kit, get them to the venue, and take it in that direction.
Absolutely. So we've got to, and that is why, by having this kit, and we'll have full sets at Janson all through the summer, so anybody can come in between days, like a municipal golf course, they'll be able to come, they'll be able to hire that as part of the day. Somebody, it's just there and doable. Because otherwise, if you're going to start from scratch, what do you, unless somebody takes you, an uncle or a dad, how do you get into it? Golf you can get into it fairly easy, can't you? You can go, there's always a municipal and you can hire, we all did it, go and
go pitch and putt,
you thrash the living daylights out on the par 3, and get bored, and some go on to be Tiger Woods, not in this country necessarily, but no, we've got to make it, and I think we've got that, and Janson's is the perfect foil, for taking people. We know we can go on Aubrey's and they'll catch fish from the off. And I'm going to make sure it's filmed all through the summer, so it's there, the 16 peg mat, and we do it, and we'll see where it goes. Scout groups are going to be the key, things like that. We need people, bring them in for the day to help us volunteers.
Can you advertise it in schools, or do you need special licenses?
Well, we will do, but again,
things.
Bringing Neil Crozier back into it, who we've set up for things like that. Have I mentioned Neil? You know what I mean? With grants and stuff like that. The Angling Trust, the EA, environment, they're all over this by all accounts. You know what I mean? There's a list of people waiting, that they've got for money.
The DBS checks are easy enough to get.
Yeah, well, we're DBS checked. Everybody on the Fishing Association.
Where I was working away, we're working at airports.
Do you know what I mean?
It don't take long.
Everything has to be done above board. But I honestly believe that they're going to be all over this. If we can prove to them that we're going to bring people, I know we can. And that's what it's all about, bringing people in, getting people in, and again with Dave Lyons, Tackling Minds being good for you, there's a movement towards it, and instead of just sitting back and accepting, match fishing's in decline and that's the way it is, maybe we should start thinking, well, how are we going to actually turn it around? The diehards are never going to accept it. If in 10 years' time we've turned it around, they'll still think commercials are ruined fishery, you ruin good old-fashioned fish.
Get on some proper fishing.
There'll always be the bait apron brigade and the bronze maggots. There'll always be that. And if I wasn't involved, I'd probably be the same. And my dad would probably be turning in his grave.
I don't necessarily think it's dying. I just think it's evolving. I just think from years ago, I can remember walking on the Coronation Channel bank, and it was like buses and buses from the East Midlands or wherever, and it was just streams.
But the same numbers, whatever happens, it's going down.
It's just been a pyramid thing. And then commercials came, and there were the big. I used to drive 2 hours to go Moorlands Farm when I was 18, 19, because you got 70, 80 people there, and they were all as a young lad, it was all the people out the magazines there, and that was the best thing ever. You go there now, it's nowhere near that many, because now there's so many venues. They've thought, they're doing well out of it. Another farmer's thinking, I'll do that, and everyone has their little favourite little group, and they stay with them. We're lucky around this area. We've got. Well, you were saying decoy, but decoy is still always busy, but it's club anglers now. No. But we've got decoy, floatfish, rookery, 20 miles radius from us.
We've got a plethora of good commercial complexes.
They've both got 40 anglers on a Saturday, so you can't say there's not lots of open match anglers around our way.
No,
but they all got their little place they like going now, and that's it.
Club vibe. Everybody chats to you. You'll know what it's like a floatfish. Everybody chats to you. It's all really.
Yeah, things are different to what there is slight evolution. Like you say, back in the day, it'd be like 200, 500 peg matches rather than all the small clubs.
I do remember years ago, Keith Arthur. He made a statement and he said, "I think the future of fishing is in commercials," and this has gone back a long, long time. And as it's evolved through the years, it's sort of gone in that direction. You never see anybody
go you're bound to be right soon.
It definitely is. As a kid, all I wanted to do was fish for England and fish rivers.
Yeah.
And I was lucky I did the England youth and I did all of that. And then 20 years old, found women and all that, sold me kit. I hadn't got any. The problem was I found what to do with them a bit more. But back then, like the juniors now have got so much more to go at. They've got like 4 different age groups to fish world championships and that. You had under 18s and you very rarely got under until you were 17 because you were the most experienced. Yeah. You had your year, and then there was the adults. In all honesty, while it was the best experience of my life fishing the world championships, it was probably the worst thing for me fishing because I had nothing to aim at then. I was never getting any adults in the next couple, and I just sold all my kit in the end. But since I've come back, I've never fished a river, and I was an all-out river angler. It's just so easy in there.
It is.
There is more river matches and that if you want to travel around, and there's a big scene. But I would say it's the same as a Fishermania or something. You're going to see the same faces travelling to.
Yeah, bouncing
around to all the same ones, yeah.
Well, the way I see it is, again, there's people that see me as somebody who's actually against, traditional proper fishing, call it what you like. And like you say, the reality is that's where I started, that's part of my blood. I just believe that we need to look at, like Keith, like the commercial aspect of it, that we need to look at ways of getting people, bums on seats. Once you've got bums on seats, they'll all decide whether they want to go and fling a feeder, whether they want to go and fish a stick float.
It's just getting them there in the first place.
It's just getting people interested, and you will not do that by dragging them across 3 fields to a 200 peg open, and it just doesn't look that exciting. It's not exciting.
To catch 3 or 4 pound a little boat,
it's exciting to us, and if we're part of it, but it's not good on
and to them ones that say proper angling, there is such a skill to that. There's as much skill to that as.
I've had a belting day. I've had 7 ounces on the canal, won my section, had 49 fish, and fished a match of my life. Like, you know what I mean?
You get back. What I just said about the England thing. Well, back then we had to send a CV in. It was like in the Angling Times looking for. And I had on that. I put all my match in, and I had a section win at 100 peg open section win with half an ounce. And that was on there because you won your section in an adult match when you were 15, 16 year old.
A win's a win. Even better if you're the only dude that's caught a fish on the whole match.
Well, you all know my wife, she fishes. She looks at some of these and I show her pictures all. Couple of pound one, this like something comes up in my face. I can't believe people sit there and do that fishing.
It's all relative.
That was so good back in the day.
Well, just drawing that back in again. Then we were fortunate enough a couple of weeks ago, weren't we, Steve, to have lunch with Bob Nudd.
Yeah.
And he said something very similar. The heydays seem to have drifted away in his lifetime, didn't he?
Yeah.
And those days of 200 baskets turning up on 4 coach loads are long gone. And what did he say? It was 20,000 people were there to watch him win the World Champions. Yeah, so
his eyes popped up though when we mentioned when we started talking about F30. Didn't somebody who seemed to accept the decline, and you could understand why.
Yeah.
Was suddenly I feel thinking, oh, hang on a minute, maybe as a cricket fan,
because he related to something we'd said. He took his grandchildren fishing. With
same as I had, banded
pellet, and they both had 7-8 pound fish, and they loved it.
And now he thinks there's a chance his grandson might get involved because of it, and he'd written that off, hadn't he?
And that's the kind of thing that we're trying to obviously introduce, isn't it? Grandparents being able to take their kids
I'm
fishing.
pretty certain my grandson's going to hammer Bob's grandson. I'm fairly confident about that.
Well, let's leave Watch out for that head-to-head this summer.
Yeah,
let's leave the F30 there then. Let's talk.
Remember, I make up the rules as well.
Let's talk about the Super Cup.
Yeah, you didn't say he has to have a line tied on his top bit.
So the first round draw for the Super Cup this year is on the 4th of March, which is 6 weeks Monday.
Yeah.
Currently we have, the format is 17 regions and we've got 12 qualifiers.
Yeah.
That makes up a prize pot currently, should it all sell out.
Potentially. Yeah.
Potentially. Should it all sell out, I've lost me a bit of paper now. I think that's 65,000 for the regionals and 38,000 for the head-to-head. For the one-off qualifiers.
Yeah.
So a prize pot potentially of over £100,000. So obviously we're going to be pushing that shortly, aren't we, Steve, to get all them?
Yeah, absolutely. But it's guaranteed at 51 regardless. That's the
guaranteed minimum of £51,000 either way. So if nobody enters, somebody's going to have a good day.
Yeah, it's nice to have a. I've got the ticket straight away. I'm really looking. It's nice to have the qualifying ones as well.
Well, I'm fairly certain. You know what I mean? That whatever happens with the
decent sized ones as well. Steve.
Yeah.
They're not like the when Fisho was having 150 and you go and like you were saying about drawing pegs and stuff we were talking before, and you go home with half the draw. It's like just fishing a big open. 60s.
At the end of the day, all the money you're paying for your ticket is going into the prize pot. Apart from a few quid on the PayPal, like over. You know what I mean?
There's going to be peg fees on the one-off qualifiers.
There's going to be peg fees on the bit. But other than that, you know that all of your money, the vast majority is going into the prize pot. So, you know, it's pretty much a sweepstake really, isn't it? A good old...
Just on a slightly different note with that then, what goes on is there going to be a super pool or something on the qualifiers?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, a good point to bring up. I think it's just basically, I don't know, what do you think? Is it going to be another 20 or another 30 quid?
Well,
or what? You know.
But if it were me, another 20 quid's fine. You're
yeah,
only doing so to try and cover your day, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, there you go then. That's good because you paid your peg.
I haven't seen anything about it. So that's not why you go. Let's be honest. Everyone's going there to try and qualify for a final.
Yeah. So 20 quid extra on the day is more than enough. Like, yeah.
So at the minute,
your expenses anyway.
Yeah.
You know.
At the minute we've got the 17 regions. If there's low uptake in one region, we may potentially lose a region and add a qualifier, mightn't we?
Yeah. We're definitely going to have 3 more.
We're definitely going to have 3 more qualifiers because we need 32 people to make the final this year. That's
well, we
the
don't
aim,
need it, but we're going to.
That's the aim, isn't it? We're trying. But
the only reason that they haven't been decided is because I'm trying to keep them up my sleeve and try and make sure that whoever gets them is, you know, wants them and is quite, you know what I mean? It's I could fill them up tomorrow. I'm sure Elaine at Floatfish. I'm sure Guy and John at Todd Burr. I'm sure Dale at Marston.
Let's just talk through
Janson,
what dates we have got.
Another one.
So hopefully the dates should be scrolling across the bottom of the screen. But we've got 2 qualifiers at Todburn Manor, 2 at Marston Fields. We've got 2 at Floatfish Farm, 2 at Janson's Fishery, the home of the final this year, 2 at Old Huff.
Yeah.
And we've got 2 at Rookery Waters.
Yeah.
So and then potentially 3 more to add to that, and then depending on whether the regional tickets.
Yeah, if some of the regions don't get the uptake that we require them to, we're not going to run them just for the sake of
flog a dead horse.
No, flog a dead horse. Yeah,
there will be a refund to those that haven't.
And we'll just set up another qualifier to take its place, and I'm sure more people will be more than happy to
give those people first option of getting into that qualifier.
Yeah.
So unfortunately.
Yeah.
So looking forward to the Super Cup this year.
Where are you heading then, Si?
Where am I taking you?
No, well, hopefully we're going to both book on a qualifier and qualify first time anyway. But
I think so. Yeah.
Si's already told us.
Si's
going to win Floatfish. He's already said so.
No, to be fair, the Golden Reel qualifier there this last year, we both drew cracking pegs.
Oh, I thought I think everyone in that match told me I was going to win the match.
It didn't completely switch off, but it didn't fish how it normally does.
It was freezing cold. It come freezing cold overnight. The first cold spell we had. That lake we drew. Well, both them pegs we were on, you'd have run to.
100%.
And I don't think there wasn't £100 weight, was there? You had 99.
I think I won the lake with 90 something. You was in the 90s.
Yeah. I was second on their 95, I think.
That's poor for that, mate, really.
Crazy.
Yeah.
We'll come back to other competitions shortly because we're going to mention them. Just to mention, we're not going to film as many head-to-heads this year, are we? We're going to try and selective pick maybe some of the better better, more watchable ones. But there will be some head-to-head films this year, along with the Janson's F30 filming, obviously that you're planning, Steve.
Yeah.
If you get some headline draws,
I'm definitely going to focus.
You've got to go for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we had some cracking ones last year. I've written a few down. Tom Edwards versus Max Owen.
That was a belter, wasn't it?
It was a belter. Yeah, nobody everyone thought that Tom would just pick it up at the end there, and it just didn't happen for him, did he? No.
We're in a different place as regards to what we could do with filming now. I mean, that was at the beginning of the journey in regards to technology. It's,
yeah. But just from a match point of view, obviously young Max Owen, who was 17 at the time.
Belted Max Owen. We had some good ones, didn't we?
Yeah, well, it just goes to show, again, obviously Tom Edwards, sponsored by Dower, one of the big hitters on the circuit.
And Tom is so good at rookery and all. This is the thing people don't, especially last year. He'll openly say he's not had quite the same year this year there, but last winter when this was, he won, like the teams of 3, there's fair few teams, you're talking a 50 peg match. The 6 rounds, I think he won 4 of the 6 rounds. He's unreal down at rookery. So Max has really done well to beat him.
But that does, and he has done well. But it just goes to show also that the format of the competition lends itself so that anybody. We obviously had Dodge Chesterton last year, or the year before. He knocked out Jamie Hughes in the first round, didn't he?
Yeah,
if it wasn't
Gary Splodge Clowes,
was it Splodge Clowes? Was it?
Yeah.
If
it wasn't that format though,
Dodge. That's why
you would have the same 16 anglers in that final every year. The best one from each region. That is the beauty of it.
So, for me, also the format obviously lends
itself. It's not quite as easy as that. But you know what I mean. It'd be the same couple of people.
Yeah. Looking back also, we had Andy Power and Sam Powell when we went down south.
That was actually a belter, that was. Unfortunately, we dictated so much that how it was going to go.
We thought it had fallen in Andy Power's favour far more than what we realised, didn't we? And
it was virtually neck and neck at one stage with half an hour to go. It was.
We've written him off, haven't we, poor Sam Powell?
Written the old boy off, and from an area where he really shouldn't have. You know, it was a phenomenal performance.
He's a great. I've only met him. He's one of the Matrix consultants, so I've met him at a few, like when we have a product day and stuff. So, because he lives so far away, it's about the only time I've ever met him. You see him on Facebook, a lovely bloke, and you see him on Facebook. God, he does win some matches down south. I know he picks and chooses the matches he goes on a bit. They haven't got, like you were saying earlier, we're spoiled. They don't have as many matches, but Jesus, he wins some matches. So, I'd love to have gone and watched that one.
It was a great watch.
And he's well liked as well by his friends, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's all right. He's a funny one. People, but he's all right. He's Andy.
We spoke about Ant Flint and Penn Wrighting down at Todber. That was a great match as well. Penn making the final again. And then for me last year, just looking back briefly, the match of the head-to-head of the year was Alex Reynolds and Jack Gill.
It was a good one, wasn't it?
Because
2 very good anglers.
Probably
anglers that you wouldn't like. They fish at rookery and all round our way a lot, and I used to fish at Coleman's with them and stuff. They're probably not as nationwide known as some of them other names on there, but they are 2 awesome anglers.
Well, the match was brilliant.
You wouldn't want them anywhere near you in an open.
My favourite head-to-head of last year, anyway. So.
Yeah, he was pretty excited.
When he was over at Barford Lakes, and his dad used to fish Barford Lakes a lot, and he comes a little kid, and he worked in the tackle shop at Barford Lakes, and when he was talking to him, how you done, and all I said, Tom's got it as well actually. If as a younger lad you talk to them and you tell them what you did and you could visibly see they've got that look in their eyes, and you're like, he's taking all this in.
Oh, I had it with Tom. But you'll remember Tom, because at Lake Ross, Tom used to come down there in the evening matches there, and he was about 10 years old, and he used to bring a spod rod and all that, and it's a little late. Honestly, you'd have laughed at it, but he was so keen to learn, and then 2 years later he was smashing everyone up.
He was, he took it all in and moved on to the next level.
Yeah,
good lad.
So we will be filming some head-to-heads this year, but maybe not quite as many as we did last year. We're going to be a bit more selective, aren't we? One thing to mention, obviously, you've got the qualifiers and the regionals. You can enter both, can't you? You can enter as many of the qualifiers as you want. and we were talking about multiple regions as well, but there has to be an air of sensibility about that. Obviously, if you can't commit to both, you have to forfeit one.
You can, I know, I saw someone ask this ages ago, but you can fish your draw in the knockout in one of the qualifiers as well, can't you? Yeah.
You can fish your
double whammy.
You can fish your head-to-head in a Maven Match this qualifier if you want.
You'd be a bit annoyed if you won the match. You'd be like, bugger, I've done more than I needed to do.
Yeah, but if you win the match, does the other person then go through?
That's a good
Probably
question.
would, wouldn't they?
They would, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
They would automatically, wouldn't they?
Yeah, because
No. They've knocked out. Well, actually, if it happened on the day,
if you did it in that thing, you'd both go through. Surely.
Well, maybe that's a reason to.
That's a reason to
both.
do it. Yeah.
double your chances.
So what we're saying here, that the person that they knocked out automatically goes through.
Well, you want to qualify from the match.
No, but they'll only go through to the next round.
Yeah,
They'll go through to the next round.
Yeah, exactly. They wouldn't go straight through the.
But they've lost.
Well, that's put a
the person that we've said it, so that the person that wins a match would draw against gets a bye next time. Like, you know, he just goes in the hat as a bye. You've been knocked out if you've come second term, haven't you?
Well, this is why I've said it. That wants clearing up now.
Yeah, I think that's.
Me and Ben, we're obviously in the qualifier at Floatfish, a pair of us.
Yeah.
If we draw against each other in the Super Cup, Ben wins, goes through.
Yeah, and you're out.
And I'm out.
Yeah, that's it.
But he's gone straight through to
definitely,
the final.
if it was you, you'd be out. Definitely.
Oh, no,
everybody else might be rooting for manoeuvre.
Thanks for
Happy drink out.
He'd have gone over in his neck, so he'd be alright. I'd be safe anyway.
Fishing Association staff ain't
It
going
would,
nowhere.
I know what you're saying. It would only make a difference if it determined the region final, wouldn't it? Because essentially, you'd be out, and the person you drew against next would just get a
Yeah,
bye
if
to
it was
the
a
next
regional
person.
final, then they would have to go through, wouldn't they?
So I just spat my drink up and just.
We need to clear this up before it happens, don't
It's gone everywhere. Yeah, well, that's one that you need to think about there.
we? Yeah, cheers.
Let's just quickly talk about the Feelgood Station. We were, as we said, we were lucky enough to meet Bob Nudd for lunch the other day, but he did an hour's interview with Lester on the Feelgood Station. If you've not listened to it, it was a great listen.
It weren't a bad steak either, was it? #Johnsons of...
Johnson's of Oldhurst.
Johnson, yeah.
Is that the one with the crocodiles?
Yeah, it's not in the car.
I never saw any.
No, that is the one.
Apart from like kangaroos.
They've got it out the back.
Yeah,
They
I think
keep
so.
crocodiles. You can go and see them and that. Yeah.
Was it handbags?
Live crocodiles.
Live ones. Yeah.
Well,
My sister takes my nieces over.
we'll have to take Bob back.
It is a
feed
zoo
the crocs.
anyway. It is a zoo.
We saw peacocks, I didn't see anything else. But no, just to talk a little bit more about the Feelgood Station, Steve. Let's just give Lester a quick shout out. Obviously, the Feelgood Station is in association with the Fishing Association.
Yeah, that's a handful, isn't it?
In association with the Fishing Association. You can listen every Saturday. They're live from 7 till 8. I've just got my notes here. They have monthly features presented by Giles Cochran, Leanne Watson. They've got 14-year-old Marco, have I said this right?
Giordano.
Giordano. They've got weekly special guests from the match world, from organisations and support groups.
Dave Lyons is on there regularly.
Throughout the summer, they're going to be posting and obviously talking about results from not just what we've been doing, but other competitions, the Open Circuit, big money qualifiers, etc. He also runs the Great Debate, the topic of the week, which they invite everybody to get involved in.
That's just to wind me up, isn't it? That's what the Great Debate is.
Yeah, so tune in to Leicester at the Feelgood Station, which you can find links through the Facebook page, Fishing Association Facebook page.
Well, the good thing about that is the audience that we're getting to out there, it's like 30,000 people in the UK alone, and it's people outside of fishing again, isn't it? It's all very well appealing to the ones that are going to be doing it anyway, but they're going to be doing it anyway. It's new blood that we need to appeal to, isn't it?
I only needs one of those listeners to then get in touch with you and say, we fancy this F30.
Yeah, especially if it's a scout leader or a teacher. It needs a more varied audience.
He did one with Kevin Wilmot, real good bloke, nice bloke. He did one with Kevin Wilmot, and that's probably one of the most interesting ones I've done, Kevin reminiscing of what it used to be and how things have changed.
Well, Kev's been involved. I know he's retired now, but he was.
Kev can't even pronounce Nen, can he?
No, he gets that one.
Whoa! Back up here. Kev was one of my Kev was one of my teammates. He was one of my when I was a kid. I used to fish with Peterborough. He's very educated. He's been editor of Angling Times, Angling Plus, all that.
But can't even pronounce Nen.
Yeah. Well, I pronounce it the same as him.
Can't ask me back at the moment. That's the best thing about it.
I know I've come a few miles the wrong direction here, but
I think it's a good job we're maybe not live tonight.
Yeah, because he'd just be on there shouting that it's a load of rubbish.
So let's just touch
just finishing this off, sorry. Where does the divide, where does it turn from the Nen to the Nen? I know it's as you go out towards Northampton.
It don't turn into anything, it's always a Nen, it's just that people in Cambridgeshire obviously have lower intellectual values.
Yeah, we'll move off this now then.
Yeah, I think it's halfway between Peterborough and that's where the job.
Well, yeah,
when it goes wide,
the fence.
it goes wide.
The fence, like my dad really see, he was from that neck of the woods, he was from Wisbeach. And he called it the Nen as well.
Yeah.
Man was a fool.
Right, let's move on from there then and talk about some of the other big competitions that are going to be running this year. Steve's obviously going to spend in his entire summer at Janson's filming F30 and the likes and head-to-heads. Fish South tickets went on sale this week. I think they're pretty much selling out fast, aren't they? Fish Midlands and Fish North already up for sale.
Yeah, Fish South, well, I was lucky enough to be in the final last year. That's a brilliant. John runs a really good match. The final was absolutely awesome.
Yeah, a lot of dates are already nearly sold out. Aren't they? They've literally only been on sale for a week.
They went on sale on Thursday. I was on there. I bought all the rookery ones by 1 minute past 7, I think. And I think a lot of people, judging by my Facebook, there were a lot of people saying, "Oh, I've got all 4 of you. What you got?" Willinghurst, where the final is, they sold out within about an hour. Yeah. So it just runs a really smooth match. They're lovely matches, and it's nice. It's nice to have a qualifier where, like the rookery ones, is 40 people, 2 lakes. You've only got to win a 20 peg lake to qualify for a 10 grand. Is it 10 grand the final? 12, it was silly, 12 I think. And it's like the top 8th place got nearly £1,000. It's ridiculous payout, that final. Yeah. It's just and so well run. So
well put together, yeah, well thought of already in its early years, isn't it? Maver match this in Golden Reel. I don't know about you, Ben. I've picked up a few qualifiers.
I've not actually bought any Golden Reels. I need to get the rookery one.
There's one at rookery this year. Regional focus at the minute.
Yeah, no, I will do a load of them. Especially the final is on Spessy Lake this year, which will be a much better final for Golden Reel. Simply because there's more than one thing you can do.
There'll be some big fish caught in that.
Yeah, you've got them huge, great edge fish. Yeah. You can catch 100-pounder skimmers. There's loads of ways to go about getting a weight where it's like the match lake. It's a bit MPEG dominated.
It is. Yeah.
And everyone's going to fish exactly the same match. They fish short, then do what they can, and it's all about the edge of the last hour. It gets you're sort of not in the running like we were saying before. So I think that'd be a good final. I just haven't bought any because I work quite a few nights, like in the week now, and I'm not committing to driving 2 hours away if I've got work on a Friday night. So
the local ones.
They don't. I've got the locals, and it don't
filling up potholes. At night.
Jesus Christ, I'd be busy soon.
Plenty to go, huh?
So they're not doing any in Cambridge.
No, but yeah, so I haven't bought them. But there's loads of Mavers with Steve's. We're so lucky around here. I think between rookery and floatfish now, with Mavers, yours, Golden Reel,
there's a lot of
the Fish South. I can do about 20 qualifiers without travelling 25 miles.
There's 9 qualifiers at rookery alone, with the Mavers, 2 of them, the Goldens and the Fish Souths and the Fish Association.
We're lucky because I know there'll be people come on when this goes live. The Southerners moaning they've got nothing down there.
One thing in common: you ain't winning any of them.
There isn't.
So do you obviously plan your match fishing calendar with the big qualifiers around the year, during the year, or when it falls convenient? Or?
I was thinking about it because I thought this would come up, and until last year, I just went all around the country and went stupid and I've got so, and I know like you'll talk to Winnie and different people, you get so you're not enjoying it.
Yeah, it becomes too much.
It becomes a bore, yeah, and that's not good for your fishing. And
no,
like you're not enjoying it. You're thinking on the drive there. You're doing a 2-hour drive and you're thinking, I'm not going to draw very well here, and it's a waste of that. And you do then. It's been positive. Last year I just did the local ones. Like I say, if I hadn't got anything on, there's no Sunday matches particularly our way. No. There's a Sunday qualifier. I think I'm going to go there this Sunday.
Yeah,
but yeah, we're so lucky we've got the local ones.
I just keep an eye on what's coming up when it's available, and
so I do plan getting back to the question. I do plan my summer around it, but now I'm trying to leave enough so I enjoy myself as well.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't just want every Saturday and Sunday travelling around and
travelling everywhere.
And then you don't fish well because you're not enjoying it and the confidence goes. There's got to be a balance.
Yeah, there is.
We've got so many good.
You do it to death,
and you, like you're saying, them opens, you go float fish or you go rookery, different crowd. You have a great crack with them.
Yeah.
And just enjoy your fishing. You've got to have that in it.
That balance.
You've got to have that balance.
Yeah, yeah.
I know it's different. Some of the top boys, they can go fishing a lot in the week, and they can get that in the week, and then like fish 2 or 3 opens.
We've all got.
But we work. So yeah, I think you've got to get the balance, and I think people have started to realise that a little bit now because it did just completely dominate.
They appreciate that.
You've got to appreciate. You have to. You work all week. You want to enjoy yourself.
But sometimes enjoying yourself is just sitting down and actually doing nothing. You know what I mean? Like,
I've done that this weekend because fishing got cancelled yesterday, and get bored of that quick. Been tying shallow rigs.
We'll come on to that in a minute.
Yeah.
Well, just to say, I told Alex Bates that runs Rookery Waters that I bought all 9 qualifiers there, and he sort of looked at me and went, "Well, you never know." Sort of.
Mike, you've won matches there. You keep putting yourself down.
But anyway,
man lives long enough.
Simon, you mentioned things that are obviously happening throughout the winter, and fishery maintenance was something that popped up. There was Jamie Harrison put a video on YouTube, I think, on his catch fishing channel.
Yeah, it was quite surprising.
Lindome Strip Lake.
That's it. The strip
some of the works that they were.
Lindome.
Yeah, some of the repair works they were doing.
Well down, they netted it, brought the fish out, and it is worth a watch because we tend to be a little bit ignorant as to what work goes on when we're not there.
Yeah.
And now is the time of year it's going on.
It's the time of year to do it, but I mean, I wouldn't want to be paddling around in 4 foot of freezing cold water doing that sort of thing. So, you know, hats off to them for doing it. But
but if you were a fishery owner, you would, because you wouldn't want to be missing out in the summer when that lake would be full every day.
Yeah, exactly.
Just some of the repair works they're obviously doing there to the undercut banks. When Jamie shows you how undercut them banks are, it's incredible. It's like shouting into a cave. You could get an echo back out.
They've got it at, the strips at Decoy, so you know yourself, they're a joke, some of them now. But there's one peg, it's 15 on elm. It's the barbel peg, there's a tree there, and there's an underkit bit, and it's always been, is it 15 or 12? It's somewhere in that region.
It's in that region along that back.
Yeah, 3/4 of the way up. And there's a barbel on your fish there, and it's hook and hold. People have now got their landing. Bearing in mind you've got another lake behind you. You can put a 4-metre landing net handle in this hole back behind you.
Somebody said to me that they see the fish in the next lake and they're elastic. So
that's happened, yeah. They've dug their way the whole way through now. They are close together, the lakes there anyway.
No, that's definitely worth a watch though.
Yeah, I've seen the glebe there doing it as well.
Yeah, you mentioned the glebe, didn't you? And they're doing a lot of work, and again for us.
Well, potentially,
Rookery have done a load. They've been trimming down. And Rookery, they haven't had them in yet, but they net all the little perch out. They get the EA and do that. Yeah, it is a good time,
can't it? A fish, you lose all your stock overnight, really, can't you? I can imagine it'd be a massive worry at times for.
If you look at Jamie when he's doing that, and the water's down and the undercut's there. When you actually plumb up, and you think you're fishing the margin.
You are nowhere near the margin.
Nowhere near the margin. You're actually fishing in a spot that's actually got some cover over it. It's nothing like that.
And it's something on that going a slightly different way from that. Is people overlook the margins in the winter. A lot of fish are sat under there.
It's a nice
and people are casting out to the middle of the lake and fishing 16 metres. There's loads of fishing.
Why wouldn't they sit
because
under
of
there?
that?
That's
There's
the
no
warmest
reason
place.
for them not to sit under there.
It's the warmest, safest place for them.
Yeah.
But getting them out of there at all
It's a nightmare.
Well, it's not because they just wobble out this time of year. If one's come far enough to take your bait, you hook it, and they don't pull that hard.
Not this time of year.
Well, whilst we're talking about catching fish, then let's have a little talk about tactics, shall we? Red letter.
Well, we're in the worst time now, aren't we? This is rock bottom. You're just trying to annoy them, basically. You've got to imagine. Like, I watched a video today on one of these ones that pops up on Facebook because I've been sat at home. And there's someone sat there and it's got a camera under the water and their float is there and there's carp everywhere and they do not get a single sign. And that is how you've got to imagine. And Andy Neal told me this at Tunnel years ago, and I'll always remember it because he always did well there. He still does, amazing angler. And he said, even on a bad peg, you've got to imagine that there is fish everywhere in your peg, and they're just not feeding. And then you just keep going through the motions, and you will start catching bites at some stage when that water. You've got to think, like we say at Rookery, there's people saying, because that's where we are all winter on these snake baits, but not every fish in that lake, there's so many fish in them lake, they can't all just go and sit in these pegs. Those pegs are where they're feeding because the wind's hitting it right, or it's the warmest bit, or it's got the right depth of water. Not every fish in the lake is sat in these few pegs. So you've just got to go through the motions, and it is light rigs and just laying it by them and just pissing one off, basically. Dobbin's been rubbish this winter. I think they just know, like, we go back to Rookery again. You dob on, there was that massive weight on Raven, Danny Clark the other week. Had 300 and something pound dobbing. All on maggots. You put a piece of bread on, you don't get a bite. They represent that bit of white as danger now. You put two maggots on and you get one above.
Won the match by 11 o'clock.
Yeah, but they're all dobbing.
I think second was 100 and something pound.
What I found weird,
he had 300 and something pound.
They're catching dobbing with these maggots. And the teams of three the week before, Steve Hayward won it, the whole match. He was on Raven 18, the other corner from where Danny was. He's caught 8 inches deep, dobbing maggots, had 150 pound of carp, ghost carp and everything, and he's not seen a fish.
In clear water.
In clear water, and he's caught in one hole all day, and he's not seen one there. How can you not see them when they're that deep and you're catching 6 and 8 pounders?
It's ridiculous.
They must just come up and go like that.
Pull it down.
Jimmy Brooks had a similar day, not this year, the year before, I think, off peg 17, same thing again.
Balled
in one hole.
In one hole. But you don't see them there. There's one peg on J you do, 44 for some reason. It's a rubbish peg, and it's had 2 dobbing weights this year. You can see them cruising around in a little hole and bang. But normally you wouldn't want to be there. But yeah, it is going through that. But we're talking about, I've been on holiday, I fished one match last week. And it was at Rookery. Thought it was going to be terrible because of all the weather we'd had. There were loads of fish caught on pellets. It was just 7 degrees, was it last? It was sunny and it had warmed up more.
It was still and sunny.
And pegs we thought would be rubbish, and we thought it fished really hard. There's been 140, 200 pound weight, and they've all caught in 18 inches of water, and it's crystal clear.
Fantastic.
They're fed up of being cold now, like us. And as soon as you've got the slightest bit of sun on the water, they're going in that shallow water that warms up quickly. So that's the big thing at the moment.
That's exactly what used to happen at Lake Ross, down in that left-hand corner. The sun used to come over the trees and catch it late on.
They're there.
And then along 24, 25, and then you catch short there late on.
It's not tactics. I wouldn't say your tactics are any different than they've been for the last 3 months. It's winter rigs and maggots and food pellets and whatever. But it's you've just got fish in the right depth, and they want to start coming out, and the days are getting longer again now. There'll be fish in your edge because you've got the right depth. It's not because they're coming to feed, it's just the right depth.
Well, I said to you earlier, didn't I? It won't be long before you're looking at the meat down the margins and... I've
got my first match at Kingsland, the start of their winter league this Saturday, and that's not hookered up, but they're starving. We had it there, we fished, first time I've been there for 20 odd years, you were there, Steve, as well. We had a winter league on there, and we had a big New Year's Day match, didn't we? It was £200 all in each, like Carl Williams always does. And I won that.
Come back with £190.
Yeah, I had £250 all on maggots, and I thought this is the way to go. And then our league started the week after. Won the next one doing maggots, and then the next round it wasn't so good. Like Steve Freeman, great angler, he come down and fished meat, and all of a sudden I'm fishing 5 metres and catching these little and they look starving, Steve. They're long and thin things. Then he starts catching 8-pounders on meat, and I'm like, I love meat fishing, as everyone knows. I'm like, right, I've got some meat with me, and I'd stop catching, getting an odd 2-pounder, threw some meat in, put a bit of meat on the hook, and instantly 8-pounders. From in between where you're catching the 2-pounders.
It just goes back to what you were saying. They're there.
They're always there, but they just wanted meat.
It
was weird. They just because they're the big healthy. Like they're the bosses, them bigger fish and healthy ones. It wouldn't work anywhere else. It's because of how it is, but it does show you that they want that protein. And as soon as that warms up a touch, meat will be the one. It was unbeatable at Rookery for a month.
I was just saying to you before we started the film. I just remember last year. Anyway, when you get the nice warm sunny days, I just remember you going straight down the margins.
As soon as there's the slightest bit of colour in the water, fishing meat mush and that down the edges.
Love it, didn't you? Something I need to get to grips with. Preparation then for the summer. Has anybody started?
Yeah, this weekend because I've been doing no fishing. The missus is full of cold, so she sat on the sofa. All I've done is had cups of coffee and tied shallow rigs.
I reckon I've tied over 120 rigs in the last week or so. What have you done?
Yeah, but you said you're not going to replace yours. That's you done for the year.
That's me done for the year.
Yeah, I've just all my wintry. I don't scale down as much now with my main. I just fished like what I would call my summer F1 rigs now.
You definitely tried
it. My summer.
Well, I'll put a bit of effort in.
Yeah, summer, like my proper carp rigs I haven't touched since, fish Southline I suppose in September. Like all my hard pet light I use at float fishing for proper fish. So yeah, just redoing all them. Some of the shots have got wet, and I'd just like to do them all new and fresh at the start of now, and then they'll just be topped up.
I've not been able to fish for a week or two. I'm just eager in anticipation.
You was in Alex's buying a load of floats the other week, weren't you? Chucking them in the bag.
Well, if you buy the floats, and then you get the incentive to actually tie them all up.
Trying to get a discount off tip, weren't you?
Is that what you're doing with them qualifiers? Then you buy the tickets and then you get the incentive.
No, I said to Alex, in all fairness, I've got no delusions of grandeur of winning a qualifier.
That's handy.
But when you fish in those kinds of situations, I always find you lift your game ever so slightly, don't you? Because of who you're fishing against.
Yeah.
And I think that's where you learn best. Anytime I've drifted away from fishing somewhere like Rookery and had a win at another venue, it doesn't feel the same as when you're fishing against a high calibre of angler. For me personally,
you've got to say that about Rookery. Even on the opens, the standard of anglers there is ridiculous.
It is, yeah. But
it's a good place to learn.
The only way you'll ever improve is by pushing yourself, ain't it? So
mine's farmed a load of hooks out to be tied ready in preparation. A load of DS floats are sat there all ready, and every night I come home from work, and if I've been had a busy day, I think I'm just going to sit at the table with a can of beer.
And look at them.
And look at them and hope they'll go away.
I stand all my floats in sponges and look at them. They're on the table for that reason, so that when I get home, I try and tie 5. If that's all I do, even if I don't want to do it, if I tie 5, every night, and over the course of the week, we've done 35. I used to start
with sponges until I knocked the sponge off the kitchen table.
It's the same.
There's about 10 floats, and they bounced wrong way round, and it broke like 8 of the bristles off. And I'm like. So now I just lay them all in a box. So if it falls, they land.
I enjoy tying rigs though. I could tie rigs all day. Hooks I get bored of so quickly.
I've got to really force myself.
That's getting back to what you say. I just give myself a couple of prongs in milkman's box. Do that at night.
Yeah.
Don't get fed up with it.
Yeah.
Do half hour of it and then do the same. You've soon fill a box up.
Yeah. Yeah.
The biggest problem you'll have as you get older is shot. Getting shot on the line properly. Neat and tidy.
Don't worry, so I've got that problem now, mate.
Absolute nightmare. And I'm a bit anal. I've got to have all the splits in a line.
Well, you should do because it spins your line and tangles it up if not.
Yeah. But when you like bulk it down or you string them out, if you bulk it back down again, that's when I've got to get them lined up.
And I don't like stots for a lot of things.
When you put an air conditioner in?
It's stunning. Yeah.
But yeah, I've had that problem today.
If it's in a loft, it's okay.
Yeah, right. But stunning.
Trying to put number 10 shot on 023 line today was
that sort of thing.
Hate it. Absolutely, you test it with a vengeance.
Right, we've got 2 more topics just to cover before we wrap up. A bit more of a serious one that's and fresh into the social media. Whiteacres.
I've never been, but I've seen all about this today, and from a lot of friends that do go. I think they've made a big mistake personally.
So this is
regularly.
Yeah,
So
well, I used to go there. I haven't been for a long time, to be honest. Good few years.
Whiteacres has always been. This is how I see it.
You have a rotation 5 days, different lakes.
Si will tell you better.
Belingi is always in your rotation, so you can be, in your rotation you can be on it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, whichever.
Yeah.
Belingi's now not part of it.
Right.
It's never been part of Whiteacres, has it? It's off-site.
Right. Sharon's part of it.
So it's just for everybody that don't know what's happened then. So the people.
Belingi's now gone. It's not on there because the guys that run Belingi, I can't remember his name. Andy, that's it. He's now going to do his own thing.
Right.
With the lake. So Belingi's now gone off the.
But the way I was led to believe it from the thing I read, Whiteacre or Park Dean have pulled away from Belingi, not the other way round.
Well, you see, I read a little bit last night. And I thought that it was Andy that decided to do his own thing.
No, he's going to do his own.
He's going to do his own thing, and Park Dean have pulled away.
Park Dean have pulled away,
Right, so
which, like I say, a lot of people. I've never been Whiteacres, and people keep trying to get me to go down. Oh, you'd love it, but the fishing looks hard in places. That's the fairest way I can put it. It looks really hard for some of it, and all I ever see is everyone like when there's a festival, and I read the reports on Facebook every night. And all everyone is looking forward to is their day on Belingi because they reckon it's amazing. Now they haven't got that, I think they've...
The jewel.
Yeah.
The jewel.
I've already seen people on about running separate festivals on Belingi and other venues.
Do you know what it is though? It goes through us all the while, doesn't it? Everybody discusses Whiteacres left, right and centre. But it's got a hold on people that people just love going there. Those that go there just go there.
Yeah, but the people I speak to that do that, then they say it's changed so much they don't enjoy it now. You don't.
Yeah, but
you don't do a live draw. Your peg is given to you. You don't even watch the draw. They just tell you you're on this peg.
Yeah,
the clubhouse
but
is
all the
changed.
time. But yet people still go. It's still full up, and it's still. Do you know what it is?
Well, there's only one way to draw, Steve, isn't there?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
The famous bingo.
There's only one way to draw well.
Yeah.
So lots happening down at Whiteacres.
So it'd be interesting to see
and see what happens
the numbers and the entrance for the festivals during the year.
Like someone said, the places like Lindome and Makins and Rookery, all of them, these places, the fishing is amazing. They've got accommodation and that there now. On site, good food.
They've got
that's the way it's going.
competition,
Westwood, their festivals always sell out.
Back in the day, I mean, that was the only place to go. Well, not the only place, but Whiteacres had.
Well, you went there or went to Ireland, didn't you?
Yeah, that's right. Nowadays, I suppose it's far.
Yeah, we've better fishing because it is rock hard. Some of the fishing from what I can gather down there. Yeah. Some of it's great as well.
I've only ever been. I've been there. I think I've fished 4 or 5 times and I've won my lake every time. There you go.
Well, down there.
At Whiteacres, yeah. Really. Honestly, some seriously good. A little bit of good fishing, but some seriously good drawing.
Paul Holland, he's he knows exactly what he's doing. Crack hand, and he's drawn one of the arms on Match Lake, as they call it, Pollowing. And he's had like £6.
And they're paying a lot of money to do this. And
it's, I'm like, even if you're not framing, you're not doing well, and you've driven all that way.
You want a day's fishing, yeah.
A good day's fishing, you know. Struggle for
guys. Well, that's hot topic in the press at the minute. So let's just finish this on a lighter note then. What's the aspirations for 2024? Mine's just to fish as much as I can. No one really cares. Simon, what are your plans?
Out of the whole year, I'm actually looking forward to the 2 Floatfish Farm one-offs.
Qualifiers? The Fishing Association qualifiers?
I genuinely, I know it's probably a bit, you're blowing your own trumpet, but Ben will know as well that we know what lakes we want to be on, and to draw well there, even if you draw poorly on one of the lakes, you still know you can do
Phoenix. We're talking Phoenix.
Yeah, let's be honest. Phoenix.
You did one filming with Dan Hardy there, who got to the final, didn't you?
Yeah.
But that was a bit when it was a bit cooler. That lake last summer, I've never done a lake like. When you went and you were asking me where do they want to draw and all that, it doesn't matter now. You can draw any peg on there and catch £200
easily.
It's probably the fairest lake I know.
That's what you want to feel when you draw it.
Anyone that gets it, so I would tell you, anyone that goes and gets it right on there, and he's on it for the day, will catch £200.
Yeah, there's a lot of fish.
It's unreal. I don't know a place like it.
No, it's brilliant.
So size aspirations.
The wind can be going one end, and you're still down the other end. Yeah, it's unreal. Brilliant place.
Size aspirations are to take a big check off you then, Steve. Steve, I think I know what you're going to say, but what's your aspirations for 2024?
To get back on proper venues.
Yeah. Listen, I'll be honest with you. I don't think I've looked forward to a season as much in my lifetime. I'm 60 years old now, and like that in itself, the fact that I'm really looking forward to some exciting stuff, some groundbreaking stuff that we're going to be doing together. I really don't know what to look for. I just think there's so much, could happen and all that. Just looking forward to it. It's going to be fun.
You're only 60.
I know.
I'd just like to say well done to Steve here. From what I've seen anyway, he's come and sat and filmed me in a couple of matches. I'm surprised he's still awake here. Because normally when he's filming, he's snoring by this time.
That's why we're going to wrap it up, because his eyes are...
It happens when I'm fishing as well. I'm known for that.
Yeah, one of the first matches I ever fished with Steve, he was asleep on the bank on the opposite side before an hour in. But we'll finish up with you then, Ben.
I see a big final and the festivals. I just do lots of festivals this year. I've already booked quite a few. Really looking forward to them. I'd love to get in a big final, but as I said earlier, I just want to enjoy my fishing. I love going fishing, having a laugh with everyone, catching plenty of fish.
Clocks going forward is always a good time.
Yeah, just keep enjoying it and having fun. That's it.
Cool. Well, thank you very much. Hopefully that change in format might be well received.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks. Yeah.
And we'll look to do something similar in weeks and months to come.
Yeah.
Work for me.
Work for me, if you need it.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, guys.